Chapter 1. A 40-year-old store, everything you need. In the heart of Huaxia, within Jiangcheng, lies an antiquated street. Here exists a hardware store that Chun Mo skillfully opened the Douyin app, initiating a live broadcast, properly thrown into the counter. The title of the live stream was straightforward and blunt: a 40-year-old store, everything you need. At the age of 22, Chun Mo had graduated with a degree in intelligent electromechanical engineering, with a bright future ahead. If working in a factory tightening screws could be deemed a bright future, reluctant to become just another cog in his family's line, he resolutely chose to take over the dilapidated hardware store 11 years ago. He refused to believe that his parents managed to raise him through this very store, while he, a modern university graduate, would face insurmountable difficulties. As it turned out, he would be overwhelmed, but he might starve. After a month of ownership, his daily revenue had never exceeded 100 yuan, barely enough to cover the rent. To make matters worse, a large and luxurious Giant Dragon hardware store had recently opened next door, siphoning away his meager business. It was already 2 in the afternoon, and he hadn't sold a single screw. In a bid for survival, Chun Mo resorted to live streaming, hoping to increase his visibility. It must be acknowledged that Douyin's traffic was indeed substantial. As soon as he began broadcasting, a handful of viewers trickled into the live stream. Are hardware stores really starting to live stream? Is the competition that fierce? This store is still open. I remember it from my childhood. It must be at least 30 or 40 years old. Everything you need? The host is quite bold with that store name. Observing the comments, Chun Mo curled his lips, ready to promote his store. Suddenly, a crisp mechanical notification echoed in his mind. Ding detection of host facing skepticism. Activation conditions met. The everything you need system officially initiated. Chun Mo was taken aback. Then, an overwhelming sense of joy surged within him. Wow. After 22 years, his golden opportunity had finally arrived. Before he could revel in his excitement, the system interface and rules vividly materialized in his mind. Everything you need system. This system will automatically generate items based on customer demand within the store. The generation of items incurs no cost. Upon transaction completion, the system will settle based on customer satisfaction. Very satisfied, the host will receive double the universal points of the transaction amount. Satisfied, the host will receive an equivalent amount of universal points of the transaction. Dissatisfied, the host will not receive any universal points, and the system will deduct the transaction amount. Very dissatisfied, the host will not receive any universal points, and the system will deduct double the transaction amount. Universal points can be exchanged for any goods and abilities in the system shop. Chun Mo inhaled sharply. Not only did he have to sell items, but he also needed to ensure customer satisfaction, otherwise he would incur losses. Wasn't this a roundabout way of coercing himself into competition? Why didn't he just work in a factory tightening screws? Wasn't it precisely to avoid competition and seek a laid-back life? This broken system forced him into selling goods, and now it wanted him to compete in service as well. In a humble hardware store, what kind of service could he provide? However, when Chun Mo opened the system shop and beheld the affordable and abundant items within, he was instantly astonished. Yes, what he needed was indeed service. Though small, a hardware store is still part of the service industry. How could one neglect service? Customers are akin to deities. At that moment, a frail, gray-haired grandmother with a slightly hunched back timidly entered. Young man, do you sell axle for tricycles here? Her voice carried a hint of hesitation and shyness. Upon hearing this, the live stream erupted with laughter. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Haha, you said you have everything. And here comes a reality check. Didn't you claim to have everything? Can you conjure tricycle axle for me? Chun Mo glanced at the comments, a slight smile gracing his lips. He indeed did not have a tricycle axle in the store. After all, he was a hardware store, not a repair shop. But the system could provide it. You could ask for tricycle axle, or even a tank axle that could be produced. Thus, without a moment's hesitation, he confidently replied, yes, yes. The grandmother's murky eyes sparkled with hope. The viewers in the live stream went into a frenzy. No way. Really? Chun Mo, observing the comments, chuckled, of course. As I mentioned, my store is all about having everything. He then turned to the grandmother. Let me see what kind of tricycle you have, what size and length of axle you need. Chun Mo picked up his phone and followed the grandmother to the entrance, directing the camera toward her tricycle. It was a small, red pedal-powered tricycle. The paint was peeling in many places, clearly showing its age. Yet, despite its condition, the tricycle was impeccably clean, with the worn seat meticulously patched. It was evident that the grandmother cherished it deeply. The comments in the live stream fell eerily silent for a moment. Seriously, are there still people riding these pedal tricycles? Some elderly folks are too hesitant to ride electric once this feels much safer for them. These tricycles must be out of production, right? Does the host really have one? These pedal-powered ones must have ceased production. Even sanitation workers ride electric ones now. The grandmother looked at Chun Mo with eager anticipation. Young man, do you truly have this model? I asked at the repair shop for electric bikes, and they said no, I have to buy it online. But I don't know how to shop online. Chun Mo smiled. Don't worry, Grandma. He silently murmured. System, generate the corresponding tricycle rear axle. Item generated, location. Second row shelf, bottom cardboard box. He turned and entered the store, dragging out a dusty cardboard box from the cluttered corner. From amidst a jumble of parts, he extracted a brand new axle. He then walked to the tricycle and measured it against the axle. Perfect fit. The viewers were astonished. In a way, it really exists. This can't be staged. The repair shop didn't have it, yet the host does. I'm impressed. One must admit, some old items can only be found in such vintage stores. The grandmother beamed with joy. Thank you. Thank you. I am truly grateful. How much is it? Grandma, there's no rush regarding money. Not only do I sell items, but I also repair electromechanical devices. Since you're here, let me help you fix it. Saying this, he expertly flipped the tricycle over, inspecting it while engaging in casual conversation. Grandma, how old are you? Not even at 90, you still ride a tricycle? What about your family? At the mention of family, the grandmother's expression dimmed slightly. My son has passed away, and my grandson is serving in the military. He can't come back. She paused, seemingly lost in memories, her tone tinged with pride. Why can't a 90-year-old ride a tricycle? Back in the day, I used to push a unicycle to deliver food to the troops, covering over 30 miles a day. Riding a tricycle is much easier than that. Chun Mo's hand, which had been tightening screws, suddenly froze. The live stream fell silent. After a long moment, a few comments began to drift through the live stream. Salute to the grandmother. Tears welled up. It turns out she is a heroine pushing her cart to the front lines. Streamer, stop accepting money. How much is it? I wish to reward you. Chun Mo took a deep breath, gazing at the dilapidated tricycle before him, and made a decision. He rose to his feet and asked the elderly lady, Grandma, doesn't this cart feel particularly heavy and laborious to pedal? Indeed, as one ages, one's legs grow weak. It's not just your legs, Grandma. Chun Mo pointed at the rusty chain and bearings. This cart has aged. Look how loose this chain is. It must frequently fall off, right? The old lady nodded repeatedly. Yes, it often falls off. But it's not a big issue. I just fix it when it does. The cart had indeed seen better days. Not only was the chain loose, but the bearings were also rusted, making strange noises, likely due to missing steel balls inside. Chun Mo smiled and said, Grandma, let me upgrade this for you. I will replace the chain and bearings and install a drive shaft along with a gear shifter. From now on, pedaling will be as effortless as walking. Upon hearing this, the old lady's expression changed instantly, and she waved her hands anxiously. Oh no need for that. How much will it cost? The comments in the live stream began a flood. What are you doing, streamer? Wow, are you trying to swindle soldiers' families? Are you really scamming an elderly person? Am unfollowing? I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Chapter 2. What the supermarket doesn't sell, I will. Everyone suspected that Chun Mo intended to overcharge the old lady. Seeing the barrage of skepticism, Chun Mo scoffed and smiled at the elderly lady, saying, Grandma, just give me the cost of the axle plus a small labor fee. A total of 10 yuan will suffice. What? 10 yuan? The old lady thought she had missed her. Seeing her incredulous expression, Chun Mo explained, Rest assured, Grandma, the country has developed and technology has improved. We now have an oversupply. You know what oversupply means, right? It means too many goods have been produced and can't be sold. These old parts, manufacturers often sell them at a loss just to clear their inventory, and they take up space for me too. Upon hearing this, the old lady nodded, half convinced. The viewers in the live stream After a moment of shock, we're utterly amazed. I can't believe it. I'm giving a big thumbs up, streamer. You are truly a man of honor. I thought the streamer was going to profit from this, but he's actually showing kindness. I can't refute the idea of oversupply. I believe it. The old lady was a hero in her youth, and her grandson is defending the nation. We cannot let her ride a broken down car. Pay race a lollipop as a token of appreciation. Those who gather firewood for the masses must not be left to freeze in the wind and snow. Streamer, you're a good person. I'm sending gifts. With a heart as red as a monkey's behind, I present. Joey number 1X1. Feeling his phone vibrate, Chinemo glanced at the screen and said with a smile, "Thanks to with a heart as red as a monkey's behind, for the Carnival Monkey Brother is impressive. He merely wished to provide the utmost service to ensure the elderly lady's complete satisfaction. Moreover, hearing about her story touched him, prompting him to show his compassion. Unexpectedly, he gained unexpected rewards. Since the big shots in the live stream had rewarded him, he felt he couldn't lag behind. He quickly generated the bearings, drive shaft, and gear shifter through the system, even exchanging for new brakes. Ding items generated, located, second row shelf in the bottom cardboard box. Seeing the system notification, Chun Mo smiled and hurriedly found the parts, beginning the repairs. The principle behind this pedal-driven tricycle is quite simple, and Chun Mo enjoyed Hanson work. With all the tools at hand, the repairs proceeded swiftly. Although he wasted some time due to unfamiliarity, in just half an hour, a transformed tricycle appeared before the camera. However, Chun Mo did not glance at the comments. Instead, he turned to the elderly lady. "Grandma, give it a try and see how it rides." The old lady gently pedaled the tricycle and steadily moved forward. "Oh my, it rides so much better, effortlessly now. And the brakes work perfectly." Chun Mo patiently explained the gear shifting function. "This way, you need not worry about climbing hills." The old lady moved, pulled out all her money from her pocket, and handed it to Chun Mo, including a 100 yuan bill. "Take this, I'm not sure if it's enough. I only brought this much. If it's insufficient, I can go back to get more. I have money." Though Chun Mo had mentioned a mere 10 yuan, she understood that amount wouldn't cover the cost. Just the axle alone was worth more than that in scrap metal. However, Chun Mo only took a 10 yuan bill, returning the rest of the money to her. Then he pointed at the phone screen, saying, "Grandma, someone has already paid if you wish to thank someone. Express your gratitude to the viewers in the live stream. They gave me 1,000. I've made a fortune from this, and taking your 10 yuan would weigh on my conscience." After sending off the elderly lady with her heartfelt thanks, Chun Mo returned to the shop, and the system's notification chimed in his mind. "Ding! Transaction completed. Customer satisfaction assessment. Very satisfied. Transaction amount, 10 yuan. Congratulations, host. You have received double rewards, 20 universal points." Looking at the 20 universal points in the system, Chun Mo raised an eyebrow. "Finally, I'm off to a good start." With the number of viewers in the live stream soaring to several hundred and a flurry of streamer, his amazing comments scrolling by, he felt a rush of exhilaration. I declare, the streamer is the foremost master in Jiangchen. This modification technique is extraordinary. Really, it makes me want to try it. A gear-shifting drive shaft must feel fantastic. Streamer, can you help me modify my little electric scooter? I want to experience that flying sensation too. Seeing this comment, Chun Mo immediately adopted a serious demeanor and waved his hand at the camera. "Bro, hold on. Modifying electric vehicles is illegal. We cannot engage in it. I reiterate, this is a hardware store. My main business is selling products, not a repair shop. What happened earlier was a special case." This earnest legal clarification garnered him additional goodwill. After waiting a while, without any customers, Chun Mo opened the system all again. He was once more dazzled by the array of goods available. From ballpoint pen refills priced at 0.1 points to a long string of zeros for curvature engine design blueprints. Everything conceivable was available. Chun Mo smacked his lips, forcefully suppressing the urge to purchase a starship. He decisively bought a steaming bowl of authentic Anhui beef noodles from Shijiazhuang. Having been busy all afternoon, his stomach had long been growling. "System, bring me a bowl of noodles, add 2 eggs and a sausage, and a bottle of ice cola." Double eggs were a must. 1 egg felt insufficient. Ding successfully exchanged for a luxurious beef noodle set, costing 1.5 universal points. A 1.5 point luxurious noodle set. This system is truly generous. In the next moment, behind the phone, stand at the counter, a bowl of fragrant, glistening noodles topped with generous portions of beef appeared, accompanied by a bottle of ice-cold cola. Chun and Mo raised the bowl and, with a moment of panic, exclaimed to the live stream, "Dear friends, it's time to eat." Wow, the host is quite casual. This is making me drool. This noodle dish looks remarkably authentic. I can't help but salivate. Am I on a diet? Should I indulge at this moment? As Chun Mo slurped his noodles, he perused a barrage of comments with amusement. This sensation was more exhilarating than being a billionaire. Having satisfied his hunger, he was about to recline for a while when the shop door swung open once more. A man in work attire peeked in and said, "Boss, I'd like to buy some nails." "Certainly. What type do you need?" "Cement nails, 1 inch long, 2 boxes, please." "All right," Chen Mo mentally noted, turning to retrieve 2 brand new boxes of cement nails from a nondescript corner of the shop. "That'll be $5. The man paid, but just as he was about to leave, he recalled something and turned back to ask, "Boss, do you have any mouse traps?" Chimo looked at him puzzled. "Excuse me, sir, what led you to think a hardware store would carry mouse traps? You'd typically find those at a farm supply store or a general goods shop." The audience in the live stream found this amusing. "Ha ha, this guy is quite something. See, I told you the host wouldn't have everything now he's been caught out. Finally, a product that the host doesn't have this is rare." The man felt a bit embarrassed and scratched his head. "Well, the supermarket doesn't sell that sort of thing, and I had no idea where to find it. So it's a farm supply store, huh? Thank you." With that, he turned to leave. "Hey, don't go just yet," Chinamo called out quickly. The man turned back, looking confused. Leaning against the counter, Chinamo languidly smiled and said, "I merely mentioned that this sort of item is generally not found in ordinary hardware stores. Not that I don't sell it here." The man's face instantly brightened with surprise. "You have it?" With a confident grin, Chun Mo replied succinctly, "Yes." Chapter 3. It's not you. It's the whole world. The sticky mouse traps have been generated and are in the cabinet under the counter. Chun Mo turned around and pulled out a large stack of yellow sticky mouse traps from beneath the counter. He held one up in front of the camera. "Hey, look, this is the enhanced thick version. These traps will catch mice, big or small." As he spoke, he took out a small bag of granules from the side. "This bag of mouse bait is a gift for you. Sprinkle it in the middle of the trap, and I guarantee the mice will come running, and once they do, they won't be able to escape." The customer was amused by his sales pitch and laughed heartily. "How much is it?" 10 sticky traps, a total of 10 yuan. The customer happily scanned the code and left satisfied. After sending the customer off, the live stream room was filled with astonishment. "Wow, you really have everything here. Host, I would like to call you a walking grocery store. I've learned something new today. It's my first time knowing that you can buy sticky traps at an agricultural supply store. 15 large sticky traps and a box of nails. Only 15 yuan? That is so cheap." Meanwhile, Chinemo was checking the system. Beep. Transaction completed. Customer satisfaction check. Very satisfied. Total transaction amount, 15 yuan. Congratulations, host. You have received double rewards, 30 universal points. Seeing the 485 universal points in the system, Chinemo was overjoyed. Customers came to buy things with no cost to him, and the system could generate them directly. This was essentially a risk-free business with high returns. The best part was that the universal points could be exchanged for items and abilities. For instance, the bowl of noodles and the cola he had only required 15 universal points to redeem, and they tasted quite good. This meant he could enjoy lavish meals without spending any money in the future. No more eating simple meals. The system's capabilities didn't stop there. Chun Mo saw that even the ability to repair cars only required 100 universal points to exchange. Therefore, without any hesitation, he directly addressed the live stream room. "A 40-year-old store. We have everything, fair prices, and no deception." Perhaps it was nearing closing time, as people started coming into the store one after another, from small screws to screwdrivers, to larger items like faucets and door handles, in just 1 hour. Chun Mo sold over 120 yuan worth of goods. No one who entered the store left empty-handed. Although the majority of customers were only satisfied, and he couldn't earn double points from them, Chun Mo's points rose to 320. The number of viewers in the live stream room also exceeded 1,000. So relieving. There really is everything. The host is amazing. I'm curious why people still choose to buy from the host store, even though the nearby store offers 50 for every 100 cents. Are you silly? Many people just want to buy a few screws, which are only 50 cents to a yuan. Even buying a screwdriver only costs a few yuan. Who would go to gather 100 yuan just for something worth 80 cents? I've been watching for 4 hours and still haven't seen anything the host doesn't have. They even have sticky traps and axles. Which netizen from Jiangcheng can go give the host some support? I have also been watching for an hour, just to see when the host would say something like no. Just as the viewers were chatting, a stylishly dressed young girl burst energetically. Her name was Lu Xin. As soon as she entered, she was out of breath and eagerly asked, Boss, Do you repair planes here? Chen Mo looked Lu Xian up and down. Could she be a fan here to cause trouble? So, he jokingly replied, Miss, this is a hardware store, not an airport. Lu Xian quickly waved her hand. Not a real plane, it's a drone. Saying this, she opened a plastic bag and took out a drone that was broken into several pieces. I see you can repair machinery, right? It doesn't have to be fixed perfectly, just help me glue it together so it doesn't show. Chen Mo looked at the mess and couldn't help but twitch his mouth. Gluing it together wasn't a problem, but it was completely unusable. The viewers laughed at this scene. Haha, finally something the host can't fix. Although it's something that can't be repaired, at least it's not yes anymore. After listening to yes all afternoon and watching the host show off, we finally encountered something that gives the host a headache. It's time to test the host's skills. You've been in business for 40 years. It's normal to have old antiques. But encountering this trendy gadget must have you stumped. The viewers teased the host. If you can really fix this drone, I'll give you a carnival tip on the spot. Chen Mo glanced at the comments and smiled. Who said I can't fix it? To the guy who wants to tip for the carnival, don't leave yet. He turned to Lu Xian. Miss, just gluing it won't work. But I have the same type of propeller here. Do you want to buy it? As soon as Chen Mo finished speaking, Lu Xian's eyes lit up. You really have it? Chen Mo replied, yes. Hearing this, Lu Xian finally breathed a sigh of relief, her big eyes sparkling as she boldly said, I'll buy it. No matter the price. Chen Mo thought for a moment and decided to spend 100 universal points to exchange for the ability to repair drones. Ding. Successfully exchanged drone repair skill. Cost 100 universal points. Current balance, 120. Ding. DJI Avata 2 drone propeller has been generated. Location, top of the 4th shelf in a cardboard box. Watching Chen Mo casually pull out a box with the DJI logo from a shelf filled with various hardware items, the viewers were dumbfounded. Wait, you have this too? Are you sure this is a hardware store and not a DJI service center? I'm impressed, really impressed. Who said they would tip for the carnival? Where's the carnival? Someone commented. I'm in after fixing it. He hasn't even repaired it yet. Another viewer quipped. Chen Mo ignored the comments, placed his phone on the nearby stand, and laid out the broken drone on the table. He explained, Miss, your issue is quite serious. Not only has the propeller broken off, but the gimbal is also damaged. I need to check if the internal stabilizer and other components are also damaged. Saying this, he quickly disassembled the drone. As he looked at the circuit board, he shook his head and clicked his tongue. Lu Xian's heart suddenly sank. Can it be fixed? In the live stream, the netizen who had previously suggested tipping for the carnival module, saying, see, I told you he can't fix it. Chen Mo shook his head. It's not that it can't be fixed, but it will cost more. Lu Xian instantly felt relieved. No problem added. I can pay any amount. Chen Mo was puzzled. Miss, if you're not short on money, why not just get an after-sales service or buy a new one? After all, what are you selling for not just parts, but also service? If the customer complains about the service, not only will there be no points, but they could also lose double the money. Lu Xian explained. This drone belongs to my crush, and I borrowed it just to have a connection with him. But I accidentally broke it. I need to return it tonight, and I don't want him to know I broke it. He would think I'm clumsy. I checked the specialty store, and there's no model like this nearby. Buying online will take until tomorrow afternoon to arrive. I thought I'd just fix it temporarily. He won't need it late at night anyway. Once the new one arrives tomorrow, I can return it to him. Chen Mo couldn't help but twitch his mouth. Still a devoted admirer. Although he thought that giving the crush a new one directly might be better, he didn't say it out loud. Did he still want to do business? This was clearly a big deal. After working all day, he had only made a little over 100. If this deal went through, he could earn at least 300 to 500. If he received a super satisfied rating, earning 1,000 points from one transaction would be a breeze. Therefore, Chen Mo smiled and said, since that's the case, I can fix it with confidence. He watched as Lu Xian nodded. Chen Mo directly generated an offline automatic controller, an electronic fence shield, and a gimbal from the system. While soldering the circuit board, he explained, do you know why your drone malfunctioned? It's not your fault. It's because your crush's drone is subpar. To satisfy customers, especially female ones, emotional value must be prioritized. How could a fairy like you be wrong? The world is at fault. Live stream viewers. Host, you're amazing. This is the first time I've heard someone say DJI drones are bad. I seriously doubt the host understands drones at all and is just trying to take advantage of the girl's anxiety to make money. The netizen who suggested tipping for the carnival couldn't help but laugh, pretending to know what you don't. I'm already a staff member of DJI. Just wait to be reported. Chapter 4. Did I buy a fake DJI? In front of the counter, Chen Mo was focused on repairing the drone. Bored, Lu Xian noticed Chen Mo's phone. Boss, you still stream? There are actually over 1,000 people online. Chen Mo, without looking up, smiled. It's all because you're beautiful. Adding popularity to my stream. Flattery comes easy for good reviews. However, looking at the comments from the viewers, Lu Xian was dumbfounded. She looked at Chen Mo with suspicion. Boss, you're not trying to fool me. The comments were all saying that you were deceiving me, and mentioned that the official brand would ban your account. Chen Mo glanced at the comments and smiled, saying, beautiful lady, do I look like a scammer to you? Lu Xian shook her head. Chen Mo thought to himself, with a girl like you who doesn't lack money, you're definitely from a well-off background, so of course. You see everyone as good people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a fan, considering you look good and have money. Chen Mo explained. First of all, urban environments are complex and diverse, and many places have set up electronic fences. Your drone doesn't have any components to counter electronic fences. Once it encounters one, it will definitely crash. Some people just can't stand to see others do well. They buy signal jammers and start shooting at drones. And suddenly, a perfectly fine drone loses control and crashes without knowing what went wrong. So, without anti-electronic fence functionality and anti-signal jamming capabilities, it's practically a waste of money, as it could break at any moment. Upon hearing Chun Mo's explanation, Lu Xian nodded enthusiastically. Yes, my drone just lost signal out of nowhere while flying and then crashed. You're amazing. Then, with a hopeful expression, she said, my crush doesn't come from a wealthy family, so this drone must be a lower-end model, which is why it lacks these features. Can you help me add them? Otherwise, if it crashes when he is flying it, he'll be so heartbroken. The comments in the live stream exploded. Wait, is this a conversation that humans can actually have? Do you know what an electronic fence is for? It's to prevent drones from entering that area. If the drone had anti-electronic fence devices, then how would it be prevented? It might as well be called an electronic joke. The signal jammer you mentioned, could it be a drone strike weapon? I seriously suspect this is scripted. Bro, there is no need to doubt. It's definitely not scripted. Anyone who can write a script wouldn't come up with such a lack of common sense plot. Wow, is the host planning to upgrade the anti-electronic fence system? If you really invent that, you wouldn't need to run a hardware store. Just go work as a chief engineer at the brand. Chun Mo didn't see the comments and continued to explain to the girl. Of course, if it only lacks an anti-electronic fence system, it's not a big deal. Worst case, it just flies back or gets shot down. But I also didn't find an offline stability system in your drone, and its stability system is quite poor. I've heard of this brand. It's known as a domestic drone leader. Logically, even if it encounters signal interference or strong winds, it shouldn't crash like this. At the very least, it should have autonomous control over its flight posture and scan the terrain for landing or returning. I suspect this drone has been repaired before and was tampered with by an unscrupulous seller. The girl quickly asked, so what should we do? Chen Mo smiled. Don't worry, I've been in this business for 40 years, and I pride myself on honest operations. These issues will be resolved. Saying this, he directly installed the anti-electronic fence system and an automatic controller for offline situations, and also replaced the stabilizer in the drone. He usually doesn't fly drones, and his understanding of them is limited to aerial photography videos and using drones for agricultural spraying. The rest is just the impressive drone formation seen during Mooncake live streams. In his view, these should be the most basic functions of a drone, especially in the repair knowledge provided by the system. These are considered fundamental issues. Therefore, Chen Mo doesn't think there's anything wrong with what he said. If a drone can't even overcome strong winds, deal with signal interference, or land smoothly after going offline, then what good is it as a drone? 20 minutes later, Chen Mo installed the original gimbal and propellers generated by the system, and the entire drone looked brand new. Lu Xian looked at the pristine drone, her eyes lighting up. Boss, your skills are impressive. It's just like when I first got it. No, it's even newer than when I first got it. Seeing Lu Xian's satisfied expression, Chen Mo also smiled. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. Don't be fooled by the exterior. The insides have completely changed. After finishing the work, Chen Mo cheerfully picked up his phone, only to see a screen full of question marks in the live stream chat. He was a bit confused. Are the guys questioning my skills? I forgot to tell you. I graduated with a degree in smart electromechanical engineering, so fixing a drone is perfectly normal for me, okay? We're about to do a test flight. And after a successful flight, that guy wanting to show off at the carnival, don't forget to give me a shout out. With that, he took his phone and went outside with the girl. Let's give it a try. As Lu Xian pressed the remote control, the drone slowly took off, very steadily. She felt it was even more stable than before. Under Lu Xian's operation, the drone flew higher and faster. Some knowledgeable viewers in the chat started commenting. Does this woman even know how to fly a drone? There's no way to accelerate that quickly. The maximum flight altitude for micro drones is no more than 50 meters, and for light drones, it's no more than 120 meters. This is too high. Oh no, I feel like it's going to crash again. Now I understand why this drone crashed before. At this speed, it's being flown like a fighter jet. The streamer has soldered several parts, and it can still fly. Impressive. Good news, it seems like it was fixed by accident. Bad news, just fixed, and it's about to crash again. Just then, the girl suddenly let out a scream. Oh no, why is there no signal? It kept indicating a height limit, and it seemed like it couldn't ascend any further. Chun Mo glanced at the chat and explained, this isn't something I broke, as the viewers pointed out. This drone has a height limit of 120 meters. At that moment, a sudden gust of wind picked up. Watching the leaves swirling on the ground, the viewers' hearts all sank. Oh no, it's getting windy. The drone is so high, and with its speed, it could affect the flight stability and lead to a crash. Before taking off, you must check the weather. With such strong winds, it's definitely going to crash again. After pretending to be dead, I really am not stubborn. Suddenly jumped out again as the plane was about to crash. Haha, I was just about to enjoy the carnival. but it looks like there's going to be a crash again, so I won't participate. Lu Xin was also anxious. Previously, a sudden gust of wind made me feel like the drone was out of control, and then it crashed. Chen Imo laughed and said, "No need to worry. I've already said that it was an unscrupulous vendor who dismantled the drone's stabilization system. Now that I've fixed it, how could a little wind cause a crash?" "You don't believe me, but you don't believe the brand either?" netizens responded. "Do you have some misunderstanding about the brand? It is indeed a shining star in domestic drones, but this is a civilian aerial photography drone, not a combat drone." However, the next second, as Lu Xian pressed the return key, the drone flew back smoothly and quickly, landing steadily on the ground as if it had not been affected by the wind at all. Watching the drone descend rapidly and steadily in strong winds, all the viewers were stunned. Is this science? This wind must be fake. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. With such strong winds, the drone should be shaking or even flipping. How could it be so stable? Have I been using a fake product all along? As the drone landed, Chen Imo looked at the camera and said, "What about the big brother who wanted to send gifts for the carnival earlier? Can you give rewards now?" Chapter 5. A Wave of Generosity. Yes, yes, yes. What happened to the person who wanted to reward the carnival earlier? Why have they disappeared? Who can scroll back and find out what that person is called? Hurry up and come out to reward. That person is called I Really Am Not Stubborn. Luckily I remember. Haha, I knew there would be someone who loves to stir up trouble. I really am not stubborn. Big shot. Come and reward. The comments on the live stream were almost entirely filled with I really am not stubborn. On the other side of the screen, I really am not stubborn turned green with envy. Damn it, so many people said they would reward, even saying they would eat dirt. Why are they fixated on me? Just because I can fix a drone, what's so impressive about that? Who knows if you're just here to hype? After sending that message, he directly exited the live stream. Seeing him leave, Chen Imo first thanked the viewers who sent gifts, and then looked at Lu Xian. Beautiful lady, now that it's fixed. Shouldn't we discuss the price? As soon as Chen Imo mentioned the price, the live stream fell silent for a moment. Then, it erupted into a frenzy of discussion. Finally, is he going to reveal his true colors? Knowing the girl is anxious, isn't he going to sell it for more than a new one? Truly, there is no business without deceit. This drone costs 8,000 new. The boss wouldn't he ask for 10,000 right off the bat, would he? Little girl, run. The next second, Chen Imo said, "First, it's a brand new set of propellers and gimbal, which ISNPG. Then there's the added stabilizer and anti-electronic fence device, as well as the signal shielding device, all of which add to the cost. Plus, half an hour of repair fees." As Chen Imo itemized the cost, all the viewers in the live stream felt like their guesses were spot on. After watching the live stream for so long, they had already figured it out. This girl was just a naive admirer with plenty of money, desperately needing the drone. At this point, the value of the drone was no longer just about the product itself, but also about the charm of the person selling it. Moreover, Chen Imo had mentioned from the start that it might be a bit expensive and pretentiously added so many extra parts. Even if he asked for more than the price of a new drone, they would find it reasonable. Even Lu Xian started to feel anxious. What if it was super expensive? This drone could be bought for just over 8,000, and if Chen Imo quoted a price in the tens of thousands, would she still buy it? She was infatuated and was willing to spend for her crush. Even if she ended up paying that amount, she would end up disliking Chen Imo. Of course, Chen Imo was aware of this, so he said directly, "Of course, seeing as you're such a beautiful lady, and given your devotion, I won't charge you for the repair cost, and will give you a discount on the parts. I'll let you have it for 800. The loss I take can be considered a gift for you and your boyfriend." He glanced at the comments in the live stream and knew the price of the drone was 8,000. He initially wanted to set the price at 500, but he felt it was inappropriate not to take advantage of such a good opportunity with Lu Xian. So he set the price at 800, while sweet-talking to increase her satisfaction with him. Sure enough, Lu Xian's big eyes sparkled instantly. At first, she thought Chen Imo was joking about giving her a discount. But when she heard the price of 800, her eyes lit up. Hearing him mention boyfriend and gift money, she thought Chen Imo was simply an angel. "Boss, you're the best boss in the world," she exclaimed, pulling out her phone to transfer 888 yuan to Chen Imo. Chen Imo was taken aback by the amount. "Miss, you transferred too much. I said 800. Lu Xian couldn't help but laugh and cry at the same time. "Sorry, I heard it as 880. "It's fine, 888. Since you've already given me such a big discount, I can't push my luck. Thank you, boss. I will definitely support your business in the future." With that, she bounced off to a nearby Mercedes. Chen Imo smiled as he watched her leave. Look, she even felt the need to thank him. Without hesitation, he checked the system. Sure enough, his balance had changed to 1896 points. Looking at the nearly 2,000 universal points, Chen Imo couldn't help but ask, who's next? A luxurious beef noodle set with a drink only costs 15 universal coins. This meant he could enjoy 1,264 sets of luxurious noodles. Eating 3 meals a day, that would last him over a year. Awesome. After tallying today's games, Chen Imo finally turned his attention back to the live stream, seeing a screen full of question marks. He smiled. Brothers, what are all these question marks? Are you shocked by my handsome appearance? Just as Chen Imo finished speaking, the layout of the live stream was suddenly disrupted. I admit the host is a bit handsome, but compared to my friend from the Northeast, he still has a long way to go, with a propeller, a gimbal, and so many scattered electronic components. You only charge 800? Where's the host's store? After all that build-up, you only want 800? Do you know how to do business? Before watching the host's live stream, I thought sellers were all greedy capitalists, but after watching the video, I realized that capitalism is actually free. My drone, which cost $3,000, faced similar issues. I had to argue with customer service for ages before they agreed to repair it, and they charged me over $1,000. You have an $8,000 drone, and it gets fixed on the spot for just 800? You make me look like a clown. The way you said 800 was so cool. The host said 800, but the other party misheard it as 880. Maybe they didn't expect it to be so cheap. The host built it up for so long, with discounts and no repair fees, making it sound very expensive. Chen Mo received 1,800 universal coins, and he felt great. Seeing the comments from viewers made him laugh too. The items are all system generated, so I have no cost at all. Whatever I earn is pure profit. If I get a negative review, then that would be a loss. The most important thing is, I really have no idea what the market price for this stuff is, but that doesn't stop Chen Mo from showing off. I've said it before. I've been in business for 40 years, operating with integrity. Not only do we have everything, but our service is also thoughtful. We focus on repeat customers, not just one-time sales. Just then, a man walked in. Boss, do you have a hammer? Chen Mo, yes. What kind do you need? One side is a hammer, and the other has 2 prongs for pulling nails. You mean a claw hammer? $6. Watching Chen Mo happily go to find a hammer, the viewers burst into laughter again. You said it's not just a one-time sale, but what are you doing right now? The man was satisfied, and the balance increased by $6, reaching $19.02. Chen Mo laughed at the comments. Brothers, even though I really sold a hammer just now, I'm not just doing one-time sales. Welcome everyone to shop in my store. With 40 years of experience, we have everything you need, if you can think of it. We sell it. That is all for today's live stream. See you tomorrow. Just as Chen Mo was about to end the stream, the screen suddenly shook. A user sent a flashy effect. Monkey King sends a gift, Carnival one. Watching the cool special effects explode on the screen, Chen Mo's live stream room went into a frenzy. Thanks to Monkey King for the carnival. After chatting for a bit, Chen Mo closed the live stream. After a busy day, it was time to clock out. He happily calculated today's earnings. The store's revenue added up to over 1,000. After deducting the platform share from the live stream donations, he still had over 400 left. The number of payments had surged from single digits to an astonishing 3,000. But none of that was the main point. The key was the system back-end balance of 1902. He earned more in one day than he had in the past month. Considering the terrifying purchasing power of the universal coins, it could be equivalent to a year's earnings in just one day. Awesome. Chen Mo felt full of energy. With a wave of his hand, he spent 10 universal points to redeem a small barbecue from the system mall. Chilled beer and sizzling meat skewers made life feel so good that even a deity wouldn't trade it. After a hearty meal, Chen Mo fell into a deep sleep. Unbeknownst to him, a storm about him was brewing quietly on the internet. Clips of his live stream affair were edited into snippets by countless netizens, accompanied by sensational headlines, spreading wildly across major short video platforms. Hardware store owner modifies a drone, claiming to ignore electronic fences. Is it true or false? Domestic drone light gets criticized for being subpar? Young man boasts, shocking everyone with the outcome. The comment section was a chaotic mix. Some netizens thought Chen Mo was impressive, a hidden master among the common folk. However, more people believed it was purely a script, an image. Is this acting? Ignoring signal interference? Why not claim to defy gravity too? Anyone with a bit of common sense wouldn't come up with such an absurd plot. Of course, there were also some real experts in the drone community who analyzed it from a professional perspective. I slowed the video down 10 times. And based on the floating leaves and air, the wind speed at that time was at least 5 to 6 levels. Under such wind conditions, for a civilian drone to maintain such high-speed stable return is theoretically impossible, unless he truly made magical modifications to the flight control and power system. In no time, the hardware store became a sensation in the drone community. Early the next morning, in a neighborhood in Jiangshan, a young man named Wang Hao was scrolling through his phone. Suddenly, a video notification left him stunned. The girl in the video was none other than his top admirer, Lu Xin. Looking closer at the drone, he exclaimed, "What the heck? Isn't that my Avid 2?" Wang Hao's expression instantly soured. Last night, when Lu Xin returned the drone to him, he did notice her hesitance, but he was too lazy to listen and waved her off. Now it seemed that this foolish woman had crashed his drone and taken it to the shopping affairs. Watching the various discussions in the comments, Wang Hao sneered and forwarded the video to the Jiangxing drone enthusiast group. Guys, this drone that was broken by my admirer has supposedly been modified to military grade by a roadside hardware store. Do you believe it? The group exploded in response. Brother Hao, is what the video says true? Can it really withstand 5-level winds? Hurry, go try it out and see how it performs. Wang Hao disdainfully replied, try what? It's clearly just swapped out a few parts and added some weights. A trick to fool a girl. Can it really ignore electronic fences and signal interference? If he had that ability, he would have become a big shot in the military long ago. Why would he need to run a shabby hardware store? Despite saying that, he inexplicably picked up the drone. He went downstairs to the park and powered it on for a test flight. The next second, Wang Hao's expression froze. Is this my drone? The response speed of the flight control, the stability during hovering, and the power during ascent have all improved significantly, especially the feeling of control, being able to direct it wherever he wants, is simply exhilarating. Wow, Wang Hao couldn't help but exclaim, sending a message in the group. Brothers, it seems like this really has something special. A thought wildly sprouted in his mind. What if everything mentioned in the video is true? It said that experts are often found among the masses. With this in mind, Wang Hao took the drone to the no-fly zone near the city government building a few kilometers away, immediately controlling the aircraft to approach the central building. Worst case, he could crash it again and spend $800 to have that guy fix it. Meanwhile, at the security center of the city government building, a security personnel was monitoring the screens when he suddenly noticed a civilian drone rapidly approaching the building. He didn't think much of it, as the building had an electronic fence and drones couldn't get in. They had seen many reckless flights like this before. The only hassle was that if the drone crashed, they might have to deal with those annoying kids asking for compensation. Even though they were a bunch of lawbreakers flying without permits, he still had to explain what a no-fly zone is and help them find their drones. Thus, he kept an eye on the drone to understand where it might land. However, the little green dot on the screen effortlessly breached the electronic fence. The security personnel's eyes widened in shock. Report: a drone has breached the electronic fence. What? The entire security center erupted in chaos. Even more alarming was that after breaching the fence, the drone continued to lower its altitude, moving closer to the window of the city committee office. What the heck? What are you trying to do? Take pictures? Eavesdrop? Or is it a terrorist attack? Countermeasures. Quick, shoot it down with the countermeasure gun. The person in charge shouted hoarsely. A security personnel rushed to the rooftop, raised a device resembling an electromagnetic rifle from a sci-fi movie, and pulled the trigger at the audacious drone. However, nothing happened. The drone continued to hover leisurely. Report: countermeasure gun ineffective. The other side may have installed a signal jamming module. What? The person in charge was instantly drenched in cold sweat. To breach the electronic fence and ignore the countermeasure gun? This couldn't possibly be the latest research achievement from an intelligence agency, could it? This is bad. If today's negligence leads to a major leak, his life would be ruined. He shouted for people to go to the corresponding floors, using bamboo poles, mops, and anything that could physically bring it down, while yelling at the technical staff. Lock onto its signal source and investigate. I want to see where this audacious spy is hiding. Chapter 7. Entrapment in the square in front of the city government building. Wang Hao was smugly bragging about his feat of flying into the city government building among the drones, basking in the flow of compliments from his friends in the group. Suddenly, he noticed that the drone's footage began to shake violently. Moments later, the drone completely lost control and started to plummet rapidly. What was happening? He was puzzled and wanted to regain control of the drone to make it take off again. Suddenly, several unmarked black sedans screeched to a halt, instantly surrounding him. The car doors opened almost simultaneously. Several men in black suits, with stern expressions and swift movements, charged down like hungry wolves. Before he could react, they pinned him to the ground and swiftly snatched his remote control away. Hey, what are you doing? The leading man pulled out a red identification card from his pocket, flashing it in front of him, his voice icy and devoid of emotion. Special operations. You are suspected of operating an unidentified flying object, threatening national security. Come with us for a moment. Wang Hao is completely bewildered. You've got the wrong person. I'm an upstanding citizen. A really good citizen. The leading man chuckled. He had expected to conduct a rigorous interrogation, but surprisingly, before he even asked, the other party had already confessed everything. Before long, the car arrived at the city's first criminal investigation unit. As they got out of the car, the man said to the approaching senior detective, "The suspect is possibly a spy from a certain neighboring country." The senior detective, named Li Jianguo, was 45 years old and had extensive experience in handling cases. He knew that spies were often professionally trained, and it would be difficult to extract information from them in a short time. Thus, he furrowed his brow and asked, "How can you be sure it's from that country?" The man shrugged. Who else would claim to be a really good citizen? Li Jianguo chuckled. "So it's really them. Finally, I've got you in my grasp. I'll make sure you have a good life from now on." In the interrogation room, the light was harsh. Wang Hao trembled as he sat in the chair, while Li Jianguo's eyes revealed a hint of excitement. Name, age, occupation. Wang Hao, 23, just graduated from university. Hasn't he found a job yet, and is preparing to take civil service and teaching exams. Li Jianguo laughed in disbelief. "Oh really? Planning to infiltrate our organization, are we? Is this drone on the table yours?" "Yes, it's mine. Do you know that the city government building is a no-fly zone?" Wang Hao finally breathed a sigh of relief. So, this big fuss was all because of that. He had heard of cases where people got caught flying drones illegally. Usually, it ended with a warning, a written guarantee, and maybe a fine. As long as he insisted he didn't know the city government building was a no-fly zone, it shouldn't be a big deal. Thinking of this, he immediately put on an innocent expression. "Huh? How didn't he know? I was just flying it around, and didn't he expect it to end up at the city government building? Li Jianguo remained silent, simply watching him with a meaningful gaze. The interrogation room fell into a deathly silence, broken only by the sound of Li Jianguo tapping the interrogation table. Seeing that the other party had no reaction, Wang Hao's courage grew. It seemed they planned to leave him alone for a while before letting him go. With such a big fuss, one might think he was a spy sent by a certain neighboring country. However, the owner of the hardware store, who seems to have everything, is quite impressive. He actually managed to break through the electronic fence and successfully fly into the city government building. Unfortunately, he hadn't clearly captured what the people in the office looked like or what they were doing before he was caught. Once he gets out, he must see if he can get something to prevent tracking. At that time, he can fly wherever he wants. In this vast world, there shouldn't be a place he can't fly to or things he can't see. Just as he was envisioning a bright future, a young investigator walked in with a stack of documents and handed them to Li Jianguo. After reading the documents, Li Jianguo's mouth curled into a cold arc. He slammed the document on the table. Wang Hao, you hold a civilian drone pilot license. The first training subject is the no-fly zone management regulations. Tell me, didn't you know that the city government is a no-fly zone? Wang Hao's cold sweat immediately poured down. Moreover, we conducted a preliminary inspection of your drone. It appears to be just an ordinary civilian aerial photography drone, but it can easily breach military-grade electronic fences and even shield against our latest anti-drone jamming devices. He slammed the table, leaning forward and staring intensely at Wang Hao. Now, tell me, you're just a recent college graduate? You can't argue your way out of this. The military personnel are already on their way. When you get to them, I hope you can still be as tough as you are now. The military. Wang Hao completely broke down. He burst into tears and confessed everything. He even showed Li Jianguo the sliced video from the live stream and the chat records from the drone group. I really just acted on impulse, wanting to see if this drone could really break through the electronic fence. I don't want to go to the military. Li Jianguo looked at the chat records and videos, his mouth twitching uncontrollably. The hardware store? He knew it all too well. He had been buying screws and light bulbs from that store since he was a child. Even the plumbing fixtures for his new home when he got married were purchased there. He had even met Chen Imo himself. After all, Chen Imo often played in the store when he was young, so it was inevitable they would run into each other. He looked like just an honest kid. Didn't he seem like someone capable of being a spy for military-grade drones? Could it really be a misunderstanding? Is this the legendary talented individual hidden among the common people? After an urgent investigation and background check, they temporarily ruled out Wang Hao's suspicion of being a spy. Wang Hao was released. However, the modified drone was confiscated as important evidence. Before leaving, Wang Hao was sternly warned by Li Jianguo that he must not say a word about what happened today. That afternoon, the official account of Jiang City released a stern announcement, explicitly prohibiting any individuals and businesses from modifying civilian drones in any form, with violators facing legal consequences. The hardware store. Chen Imo slept until he naturally woke up. After waking up, he leisurely exchanged for a hearty breakfast from the system and then made his way to the hardware store, where he started a live broadcast. While chatting and joking with online viewers, he completely missed the announcement circulating online. It wasn't until the afternoon that 2 staff members from the local street office arrived, posting notices at his door and advising, according to the notification from above, all individuals and businesses are prohibited from modifying drones in the future. Chen Imo was taken aback. Wait a minute, I just prepared a drone last night, and now you're telling me I can't modify it anymore? Are you sure this isn't targeting me? The key point was that there were several local viewers in the live chat who planned to ask him to repair their drones. Should he repair them or not? Thinking this through, Chen Imo asked, is this notice just for me, or does it apply to everyone? One of the street office staff rolled their eyes at him. Do you think you have that kind of influence? All repair shops in the city need to be notified. Realizing it wasn't aimed at him, Chen Imo let out a sigh of relief. As long as it's not targeting me, it's fine. I'm just doing regular repairs. It's not modification at all. Modification, at the very least, means increasing payload or speed, right? Normal repairs should be fine. As for the ban on modifications, I think it's reasonable. After all, even electric bicycles can't be modified freely, so it makes sense that more advanced drones can't be either. Take aerial drones, for example. They are small and easy to conceal. If they were very fast and had a large payload, what would happen if someone used them to drop bombs? Even if not bombs, just using them to litter could damage plants and flowers, which wouldn't be good either. Therefore, after returning to the store, Chen Imo smiled at the live chat and said, everyone, the official announcement is out. Those who wanted me to swap motors or change to metal propellers can stop coming. Modifications are not allowed anymore. Of course, if you have a broken drone and need normal repairs, that's still fine. Fair prices, no cheating. In an instant, the live chat was filled with laughter and cheer. I feel like this is targeting the streamer. Streamer, the government is cutting off your source of income. Are you just going to let it happen? No way. My super invincible fighter jet is doomed. Streamer, can we secretly change our line of work? We can pay extra. Chen Imo looked at the barrage of comments and laughed. Stop that. I seriously suspect you guys are trying to bait me into trouble. You all seem eager for me to get in trouble. Huh? You want me to do something illegal? People are worried I won't be able to stream anymore. You seem to be hoping I don't survive this. Just as Li Jianguo reached the door, he suddenly paused. Baiting me into trouble? Has he figured me out? Chapter 8 National Dilemma. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. My disguise has no flaws. He forced himself to stay calm, pushed the door open, and wore an innocent smile. Boss, I heard your drone modification skills are excellent. I came here specifically after watching videos online. He pulled out the wreckage of a police drone that had been smashed to bits from his bag. This is a drone that was shot down during their previous operation, just right to be used as a prop. When Chun Mo saw it, his eyes lit up. However, when he caught sight of the official notice that had just been posted on the wall by the door, he instantly lost his enthusiasm. He pointed outside and helplessly shrugged. Brother, what a coincidence. The new regulation just came out, and modifications are no longer allowed. If you want to buy one in the future, just get a high-spec one. It'll save you the trouble. Li Jianguo secretly laughed, thinking the bait had been taken. He feigned confusion and asked, "You really can modify it? Where did you learn that?" "That's impressive." "Oh, I studied intelligent electromechanics in college. It's related to my major." Chun Mo casually fabricated. Li Jianguo nodded. He didn't really understand what intelligent electromechanics was, but it sounded sophisticated enough to be plausible. Just as he was about to continue the conversation, two young men wearing aerial photography studio vests walked in, holding a broken drone. "Boss, master, we came after watching the video. Please help us fix it." Before Chun Mo could respond, a voice shouted from the entrance. "Boss, do you have rain boots?" The store quickly filled with people. Li Jianguo, worried about interrupting Chun Mo's work, kindly shouted toward the door, "Brother, you need to go to a safety equipment store for rain boots, not a hardware store." Before he could finish, Chun Mo had already dashed to the entrance, grinning widely as he called out, "Yes, what kind do you need?" Li Jianguo's face instantly stiffened. Viewers in the live stream laughed uncontrollably at the scene. Haha, feel sorry for the uncle for 3 seconds, trying to help, but messing things up. Indeed, anything could be found. The streamer's presence, although sometimes delayed, was never absent. To be honest, after watching so many streams, I found it quite normal that the streamer's store had rain boots. Brother, don't mention just rain boots. I would think it's normal even if the streamer had small raincoats. Chun Mo ignored Li Jianguo's embarrassment and patiently asked at the door, "What size do you need? Rain boots or rain shoes? Where will you use them?" 4 outdoor use, 1 pair in size 45, 1 in size 43, and 2 pairs in size 37. 4 outdoor use. You need high-top rain boots to prevent sinking. Ding. Items generated. Location, northwest corner of the hardware store, miscellaneous pile. Chun Mo turned and took out the 4 pairs of high-top rain boots just generated by the system. Each pair costs 10, totaling 40. Just then, the other party continued. "Do you have raincoats?" Chun Mo nodded and generated 4 sets of raincoats. Each set costs 8, so adding the 40, it totals 72. "Just give me 70. Ding. Transaction completed. Customer satisfaction detected. Very satisfied. Looking at the additional 140 yuan, Chun Mo smiled at Li Jianguo. "If modifications aren't allowed, can we still repair it?" Li Jianguo hesitated. At that moment, the 2 young men said, "If he doesn't repair it, we will. Just look at how much it will cost to fix this one." They were video creators, and the drone was their money-making tool. This drone was damaged after hitting a building due to strong winds. The manufacturer has been asked before, but since the warranty has expired, the repair would cost at least over 2,000. With that amount, they could almost buy a new one. So they chose to purchase a new unit, and Haven T repaired the old one. After watching Chun Mo's video, they realized that the total cost for repairs and modifications was only 800, which made them think of giving it a shot and letting Chun Mo take a look. Chun Mo took a glance and said, "The outer shell is damaged and the propeller is broken. If that's all, it will be 400. If there is more damage inside, it will be additional." The two exchanged glances, nearly bursting into laughter. "Just 400? They thought Chun Mo would charge at least 800. Repair it. It must be repaired." Soon, Chun Mo opened the drone. There was hardly any damage inside, but he noticed a capacitor that seemed poorly soldered. "Let me replace that capacitor for you." The two felt a jolt in their hearts. "How much is a capacitor?" Chun Mo looked closely. "A domestic small capacitor, $10. "What? Just $10 to replace a capacitor?" "Replace it. Definitely replace it. Can you check if anything else is wrong and replace it together?" As Chun Mo went to get the parts generated by the system, he said, "In my eyes, this drone has issues everywhere. It's even worse than the one from yesterday. Replacing everything wouldn't be too much. However, the regulations now prohibit modifications. So even if you wanted me to replace it, I wouldn't be able to." They both knew their drone wasn't top-notch and was an older model, with many areas needing upgrades. Now that they heard modifications were not allowed because of regulations, they were all anxious. They started to complain. This is definitely the drone manufacturers paying off the authorities. BYD sells at such high prices with such precision, and they VE blocked all modification paths just to push people to buy their high-end models. Anyone agreeing to such a policy must be a bad seed. Nearby, Li Jianguo couldn't help but twitch his mouth. Hey, strengthening the modification policy for drones was proposed by him. It wasn't an official national policy. Just a notice launched in Jiangxing targeting Chun Mo. Just as Chun Mo finished soldering the capacitor, a middle-aged man in his 50s came in. Do you have rain boots? Chun Mo asked directly. Yes, what size do you need? A pair in size 43. $10. However, this time, the satisfaction level was just average. Another $10 added to the account. Chun Mo continued repairing the drone. However, in a short while, 3 or 4 more people came in to buy raincoats and rain boots. Many were not just buying one pair, but several at once. Chun Mo was puzzled. Until an elderly man came in to buy rain boots, and he bought multiple pairs. Chun Mo asked, Sir, what is going on today? Why is everyone suddenly buying raincoats and rain boots? Although it had been raining intermittently for the past few days, most people were using umbrellas now, and there were fewer wearing raincoats. Also, although it had rained for a while, it wasn't a heavy downpour, and there was hardly any water accumulation on the ground, making rain boots unnecessary. The old man sighed deeply, lit a cigarette, and with a worried expression said, don't mention it. It's all the fault of the weather. In Jiangcheng, as well as the entire Qilu region and areas like Heilin, it has been raining for the past half month. Although the rain hasn't been heavy, it has been on and off, sunny one day, rainy the next, for 20 days without stopping. While this has had little impact on the city, for the countryside, it feels like a natural disaster. The corn in the fields is already ripe, but due to the muddy ground, harvesters can't get in at all. Recently, after a rare 3 days of sunshine, the ground is still too saturated to absorb any more water. Some fields look like rivers, with a layer of water floating on top. Others, despite appearing dry, trap the harvester when it tries to enter, requiring cranes to pull them out. An elderly man sighed deeply. Just a few days ago, the weather forecast showed sunny days ahead, but today it changed, predicting rain every day for the next half month. Even if there are 1 or 2 sunny days in between, the ground won't dry out. After this half month, they would have to wait another 5 or 6 days before the harvesters could get into the fields. Who can guarantee that after these 20 days, it will be sunny from then on? Moreover, even if it is sunny, if they don't harvest soon, everything will rot in the fields. They can only take advantage of the corn not rotting yet and go out into the fields in the rain, picking it by hand and carrying it out. The uncle's words plunged the entire hardware store, along with the live stream room, into silence. The relentless rain has made news online about several provinces facing difficulties in autumn harvest due to continuous rainfall, which everyone has seen to some extent. But for Chun Mo and others, these issues felt far away, without any personal connection. Until this moment, listening to the uncle's simple yet helpless words, the anxiety and heartache of having a bountiful harvest in sight, but facing loss truly resonated with everyone. Chun Mo silently handed the 5 sets of raincoats and boots he had packed to the old man, saying, Sir, that LL be 20 yuan in total. This price was purely charitable. Ding. Transaction completed. Customer satisfaction check. Very satisfied. Looking at the system prompt, Chun Mo couldn't feel happy at all. He quickly repaired the drone in hand. Ding. Transaction completed. Customer satisfaction check. Very satisfied. His universal points increased by 820 points. At this moment, Chun Mo's universal currency had reached 3,310 points. He looked at Li Jiangguo and asked, Brother, do you need yours repaired? Li Jiangguo twitched his mouth. What is there to repair? However, he became increasingly curious about Chun Mo, especially after hearing that Chun Mo could fix anything. A thought crossed his mind. You said you have everything here, right? Do you have anything that could help harvest corn in muddy fields? As soon as he said this, the viewers in the live stream room became excited. Yes. How did I not think of that? I was wondering why the uncle was still here. Turns out he was waiting for a big reveal. Well done, uncle, you're killing it. Now let us see if the streamer has anything. The streamer has always been saying yes. My ears are almost calloused. Now, I can finally see what the protagonist lacks. Chapter 9. This is no big deal. Li Jiangguo looked at Chun Mo with great interest. He came this time to test Chun Mo, although this matter seemed to have passed, and Wang Hao was back home. It was merely a surface calm. In reality, Wang Hao and Liu Xian's phones had already been under strict surveillance. Wang Hao himself was being observed 24/7 by military personnel. As the person who directly modified the drone, Chun Mo naturally had significant suspicions surrounding him. Although the military would not directly inform him, he strongly suspected that Chun Mo was also being monitored. After all, a drone that could break through electronic fences and ignore anti-drone guns posed a huge threat to national security. Li Jiangguo did not understand technology and was unaware of the challenges involved or how much effort the country had put into blocking these technologies. But military technical experts were well aware. After testing the drone, they were stunned. Its ability to shield against interference signals was even stronger than that of military drones. They used high-power military signal jammers for point-to-point shooting, and even the military's specialized anti-jamming spy drones were shot down. The modified drone by Chun Mo only experienced a signal interruption of a little over a second before it resumed searching for the signal emitted by the remote control and regained control. Even when they forcibly jammed the signal, the drone was able to maintain stable flight and return for landing. This was simply jaw-dropping. Had the technology of drones developed to such an extent? They had previously thought that a certain university was far ahead in the field of drones, but at that moment, Their long-held pride was shattered. Especially after they disassembled the drone, they realized the gap in technology. When they compared it to an ordinary commercial drone, they found that aside from 3 additional electronic components inside, there was no difference. This meant that it was indeed a modification of a standard commercial drone. To transform a civilian aerial photography drone into something far superior to military spy drones using just 3 small electronic components, how many years ahead did the other side have to be? At that moment, they even felt a sense of terror. Therefore, the military completely dared not act rashly. Who knew how many more unknown trump cards the other side was hiding? In the view of military drone experts, Wang Hao was 99 likely to be an enemy agent, and Chen Mo was 100 an accomplice. Otherwise, how could it be explained that someone happened to modify a drone on the day of the live broadcast? Of course, he did not understand the military experts' judgments, but that did not prevent him from secretly visiting Chen Mo's shop for an undercover look. Although he did not catch Chen Mo in any wrongdoing, he could not stand Chen Mo's boastful demeanor. He could not fathom how such honest parents could raise someone like Chen Mo, whom he viewed as a traitor. You keep saying you have everything. Well then, let me ask you, do you have something that can allow corn to be harvested in muddy fields? He was determined to find out. This nationwide issue that agricultural and machinery experts cannot solve, how can a small hardware store owner like you resolve it? If Chen Mo can solve it, then he can guarantee with his life that Chen Mo is a genius. If not, then you must be an enemy agent. Chen Mo looked at Li Jianguo, paused for a moment, and then glanced at the questioning voices in the live stream, revealing a confident smile. Yes, since childhood, his parents taught him to be an ordinary person, and he has always been a steady individual, not wanting to be too extraordinary. Thus, even after acquiring the system, he only used it to sell goods and maintain a normal life. Isn't it fine to develop slowly? But thinking about the uncles who came to buy rain boots, each one sighing, he felt a tightness in his chest. When there wasn't a system, I could only sigh along with them. Now that I have a system, if I can only watch, then what is the point of awakening this system? One must be steady, but more importantly, one must have clear thoughts. At this moment, Chen Mo's thoughts were not clear at all. Therefore, this problem must be solved. In reality, there are indeed solutions to this problem. Why can excavators and cranes work in muddy environments? Why can tanks adapt to most environments? And many tanks can even wade through water and operate underwater. There are also amphibious excavators in reality. To put it simply, a water platform does not exceed current technological levels. It just hasn't been applied in the domestic agricultural harvesting machine sector. You can't expect a 50,000 yuan harvester or even a 20,000 yuan old secondhand harvester to perform like a tank. In essence, ISNT is just a matter of adding a track or a track platform. Easy. Chen Mo looked at Li Jianguo. I may have the materials, but there isn't a harvester here. Li Jianguo smiled. Stubborn, huh? If I call in a harvester, what will you do if you don't have something to make it work properly in muddy soil? Chen Mo also smiled. Then I'll risk breaking the law and upgrade a drone for you. How about that? Li Jianguo's eyes lit up. Really? Chen Mo nodded. What if I really can? Li Jianguo was taken aback. He hadn't considered this question. Seeing Li Jianguo silent, Chen Mo shrugged. Brother, you're not here just to mess with me, are you? If I lose, I owe you a bet, but if I win, you get nothing. Is that how betting works? After all, Li Jianguo was a criminal investigation officer, and public gambling is not ideal. Modifying a drone could still be framed as testing Chen Mo's abilities, but if it involved money, the nature of it would change. Thus, after hesitating for a moment, Li Jianguo said, then I'll buy something for you worth 10,000 yuan. Buying something at least avoids some risks. Chen Mo smiled. This is a big order. It's a deal. It's a deal. Soon, Li Jianguo left. In the live stream, the viewers erupted. Wait, are you serious? It seems that the old man couldn't bring the harvester after all. Sure enough, experience speaks volumes. With just a few words, that old man got the streamer to modify a drone. The streamer acted impulsively. You've been tricked. Now there are harvesters just sitting idle. And they decome for as little as 50 bucks. No need for 100. Chen Mo smiled at the barrage of comments in the live stream. How do you know I don't have one? You're just being stubborn. Still being stubborn? The live stream is recording. If you dare modify that drone, I'll report you immediately. A user named the Readest Monkey commented, Streamer, if you really have such a thing, I'll directly give you 10 carnivals. A carnival costs 3,000. That is 30,000 for 10. Chen Mo doesn't have a guild, so he'd only get 1,300 per carnival, which is still a tidy sum of 13,000. Although that is not much for wealthy people. It's enough to make Chen Mo's live stream go viral. At that moment, doubts began to arise in the live stream. Everyone can brag. I could say I'll give 100 too. Don't tell me it's going to be like that I'm not stubborn guy who just talks big and runs away. I'd say if the streamer really had such a magical item, I'd live stream eating something unpleasant. However, Chen Mo remembered him. Everyone, stop talking nonsense. This big shot actually rewarded me with a carnival yesterday. He is the real deal. And you, who wants to eat something unpleasant, don't try to mooch. Just go if you want to eat. Half an hour later, a cheerful voice rang out. Boss, I brought the harvester for you. Chen Mo picked up his phone and hurried to the door, finding 2 red harvesters parked right outside. One was wheeled, and the other was tracked. The live stream became lively again. Haha, let us see how the streamer shows off now. You're still claiming to have one. The streamer must be dumbfounded. They really called in the harvester. Finally, we can see the streamer modify the drone. I'm so excited. Brothers, I'm ready to report the streamer for illegal drone modification. Huh. Those watching from above sure love to stir the pot. Report 1. Meanwhile, Chen Mo calmly watched Li Jianguo take out the drone. Brother, are you sure you've got me? Li Jianguo laughed. Could it be that you can really modify a harvester? Chen Mo didn't reply, merely walking silently into the store. Ding. Item generated. Location, backdoor warehouse. Chapter 10. You call this a harvester? Seeing Chen Mo walk into the store without a word, Li Jianguo raised an eyebrow. He thought Chen Mo was backing down and said with a laugh, Don't go. This isn't that hard. Did you see that tracked harvester at the door? That kind of machine can still work on dry land without irrigation. If you can convert the wheeled harvester into a tracked one, I'll be impressed. Chen Mo was aware of this type of tracked harvester. Earlier, he had searched related questions out of curiosity. This country is an agricultural powerhouse and has always attached great importance to food issues, continuously researching agricultural machinery. The tracked harvester is specifically designed to deal with rainy weather. In our country, the field of agricultural machinery research is quite advanced, but the adoption rate of large-scale mechanized farming is very low. While there are tracked harvesters, their numbers are limited. Additionally, due to cost considerations and the fact that it usually doesn't rain during corn harvesting here, the tracked harvesters tend to have short and narrow tracks, along with low chassis. This leads to excessive track pressure. If the ground is muddy and saturated with water, it's fine without corn, but once it's loaded with corn, even with tracks, it will get completely stuck. As Li Jianguo mentioned, even tracked harvesters can only operate in dry, loose soil. The so-called loose soil refers to sandy land that doesn't retain water or nutrients, which is considered subpar. In the past, this was definitely a disadvantage. But now it has become an advantage, as water drains quickly. Once the water seeps down, the tracked harvesters can enter to harvest. However, distant water cannot quench immediate thirst. The pace of technological advancement in our country is rapid, and this isn't exactly high-end technology. Chen Mo believes that every agricultural machinery manufacturer has harvesters capable of handling muddy land. But what about their numbers? What about their prices? How long would it take to recoup the investment of several $100,000 for a harvester? How much would the harvester buyers need to charge farmers to break even? It's not that there are no tracked harvesters now, but rather that their numbers are few and prices high, making it insufficient for the current situation. Viewers in the live stream noticed Chen Mo's silence and were supposed to mock him. However, at this moment, they found it hard to smile. Our country has ingrained the value of saving food into its very essence. Although they never believed Chen Mo could develop such machinery, seeing him silent and looking disheveled made them uneasy. They wished Chen Mo could confidently declare a solution to the current harvesting dilemma as he usually did. Just give in. This is a natural disaster, beyond control. The host should give in. It's not shameful. After all, worst case scenario. He could just modify a drone and spend a few days in confinement. No big deal. He might even learn some skills while in there. However, Chen Mo did not respond to anyone. He silently pushed open the dusty warehouse door at the back of the hardware store. The warehouse had not been opened since the death of Chen Mo's parents. It was covered in dust and even had cobwebs. As Chen Mo pulled open the door, a harsh scraping sound echoed. In the next moment, the smile on Li Jianguo's face, along with all the mocking comments in the live stream, froze instantly. Inside the warehouse, a colossal gray object lay quietly. The first thing that caught the eye was its massive tracks. The tracks were wrapped around a huge iron box, resembling a tank without a cannon. Chen Mo looked at this behemoth and couldn't help but twitch his mouth. System, do you have a misunderstanding about the term parts? This thing is a bit too big. How am I supposed to get it out? The audience in the live stream, through their phone cameras, witnessed this incredible scene. After a brief moment of silence, the comments exploded. What the heck? What is this? Tank. It's definitely a tank chassis. The streamer has a tank hidden in their warehouse. Mom asked me why I was kneeling to watch the live stream. Because I saw the truth. Am I crazy, or is the world crazy? You run a hardware store and even have a tank? Among all the monkeys on the mountain, my butt is the reddest. Bro, your carnival seems to be running out of space. Streamer, you should stop showing off. Hiding a tank is a bigger crime than modifying a drone. Just as the live stream room was in total uproar, Li Jianguo joined in. When he saw what was in the warehouse, he was completely stunned. In his eyes, which had seen countless storms, only confusion and shock remained. Yu. Chen Mo ignored everyone's astonishment and turned to Li Jianguo, who was still in shock. What are you dawdling for? Get a forklift to help.